duro, duro, duro. No se imagina el frío, el calor, bueno, el hambre.
Ellos sufren esperando el asilo de Estados Unidos, sufren mucho.
I think those tragedies are basically symptomatic. This is a systemic issue.
In June this year, 53 migrants died in a sweltering truck trailer in San Antonio, Texas. It's believed to be the deadliest human smuggling case in modern U.S. history. The Texas migrant death is just one of the human rights tragedies on the U.S. southern border, which again revealed Washington's mishandling of the immigration influx.
These are successive systemic issues. It is not something that started happening yesterday. Nothing can be swept under the carpet.
Maria Mejia from El Salvador left her hometown 6 months earlier with her youngest son. They had to stay at an encampment in Mexico's Reynosa for 5 months before being allowed to enter the U.S. as asylum seekers. Talking about the experience, she still feels very hard.
Duro, duro. Frío, el calor, bueno, el hambre, ir a bañarse, usar baños, pagar, todo. Y fue una experiencia dura, dura, dura.
Ellos sufren esperando el asilo de Estados Unidos, sufren mucho.
The humanitarian crisis at the border has been intensifying as a zero-tolerance immigration policy separated thousands of children from their parents. Now, although the current U.S. administration officially ended the policy, the use of Title 42 has again resulted in plenty of cases of family separation.
I know about children 2-month-old, 3-month-old being separated from their mothers, especially the Latin American, who walked from Ecuador and Peru and all the way to Mexico and then crossed the border. The detention centers are ridiculous.
We've seen many cases of guys who are separated from their families. And I think it's the genesis of bigger problems. That separation, the trauma that comes with it, generates a cycle, of individuals who live with frustrations and then they fit into a certain kind of profile and they're stereotyped.
Violations on human rights are also prevalent in U.S. detention centers where illegal immigrants are held. Maltreatment and forced labor are commonplace here.
There are so many deaths that are underreported of starvation.
In the U.S., we know that there is discrimination, and they feel that if you're in the U.S. and you came as a migrant, then definitely you are desperate and you can be misused in any way.
For what we know the United States, the policy tends to be a lot more nationalistic and does not have a human face.
The U.S. has long regarded Latin America as its backyard. Decades of U.S. intervention in this region has sowed instability and poverty in many countries, which directly led to worsening of the immigration problems.
I would say that it's a bigger problem than just, the American hegemony. They've, over the years, plundered resources in these countries, installed governments frustrating the people and making life a lot more difficult.
America causes wars, creates displacement, creates immigration crisis that is directly led to human rights crisis. This hypocrisy is not digested. You don't create wars, there will be no immigration.
And at the U.S. border, the refusal and mistreatment make those migrants the double victims of American policies.
I think this is a systemic issue. You blame the system that has nurtured people who harbor such intentions and execute those intentions. And you can only talk about policy and the legislation that enforces that policy. It is terribly weak.
So I think America is really one of the worst human rights abusers, both at home and abroad.